Hi, welcome to Baking with Jay plus Dan. I'm Jay.
I'm Dan, and today we're making a strawberry orange hazelnut biscotti to die for.
Yes, it's super classic flavor, so let's get started. In your mixer bowl, please have 4 tablespoons of butter. Make sure it's unsalted and at room temperature. And to that, you're going to add 1 cup of sugar. And you want to cream that together for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's fluffy. So our butter and sugar mixture has been beating for about 3 minutes. I'm going to scrape it down. Make sure you get all that scraped from the bottom of your bowl.
And the next ingredient, 3 large eggs. We'll just add those in one at a time with the mixer on low.
So our eggs have nicely been incorporated into the sugar mixture. It's time to add our flavoring. You want to start with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And the key ingredient, the zest of 2 large oranges. So pop that into that mixture.
That brings so much brightness into it. Use the fresh zest. It makes a world of difference.
And we're going to mix that up again, another minute or so. And now we're going to give this a quick scrape. Just to make sure all that vanilla and the zest is mixed in. And it's time for our dry ingredients.
All right, we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I whisked in 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon salt. I want to stream this into the wet mixture, just about 3/4 of the dry at this stage, just until it's barely incorporated. Now, keep that little bit of flour left over because it's time to add our star ingredients, those strawberries. These are dried strawberries that Jason found at the health food store. Perhaps the first time we've ever walked in, but there they were on the shelf. So these you want to soak in orange juice. So after you zest the orange, reserve 1/2 cup of the juice. You can do 1/2 cup of juice and about 3/4 cups of the strawberries. They're chopped up. You soak those in the warm juice. We popped the juice in the microwave for what, 30 seconds?
Right, and then just leave them soaking for about 15 minutes till they come to room temperature.
And we drained out the orange juice. So we want to sprinkle the flour into the strawberries. I feel like it helps them separate a little bit, get a little more even distribution in the biscotti. Now our other fabulous ingredient, 3/4 cups of hazelnuts. These we toasted up just a little bit, chopped them in half. If you like them whole, that's fine too. So I just want to work the hazelnuts and strawberries into the flour a little bit, get a little coating here.
And if you can't find the dried strawberries, you can use dried cherries or cranberries, apricots, any kind of dried fruit that you like.
You can have so much fun with this one, changing the, if you go with cranberry, maybe try cranberry with lemon zest. Any varieties, right?
Yeah.
All right, we've got a nice coating of flour on the nuts and berries, and we're going to stream that into the batter. Again, just until it's incorporated. Don't overwork the batter.
So the batter is nicely come together. It's time to form it into our biscotti log.
Okay. So look at this. It's a little bit moist. It's got a little stickiness to it. So you want to bring in any leftover flour. Really scrape down into the bottom of the bowl. Okay, let's make this biscotti log. Now I've got a couple sheets of plastic wrap here. And I'm just dropping the batter lengthwise. Use at least 2 overlapping sheets because you'll end up with not enough plastic to cover it, and it's so sticky. If you have to go back, it's a real mess. We learned that. Okay, so lift the plastic up onto itself. You can drop the batter on the counter a little bit. So you're going for about 12 to 13 inches in length and 4 inches across. And you've seen us do this with our cookie doughs. We do that more rolling. Here I'm forming a slab, so it's more rectangular in shape. So you have to knock out the air pockets on each side. And it starts to take on the look of biscotti in the raw form.
Magic.
So once you get to that 12 by 4 slab, turn the end pieces onto itself. We're going to pop this into the freezer or the fridge. Freezer works well for about 30 minutes, and it'll be much easier to handle when we come back.
So our batter is nicely chilled in the freezer for about a half hour. Now it's time to cut it and do the finishing touches.
So we've put it on a cookie sheet with silicone liner, and I'm going to use my little bench scraper here. Just score it down the middle. All right, we're going to make this one log into 2 smaller logs. I just found like this was an easy way to do it rather than separating it in advance. So go all the way down, cut that in 2, and notice when we placed it on the sheet here, I set it off to one side. So I will now magically attempt to lift or roll this one away from the other one. Let's see. And then just bring this one over a little bit so they'll have space to spread in the oven. And you can kind of reshape that. It's really forgiving. So now I have these 2 nice logs for your mini biscotti.
So now you want to have 1 large beaten egg and just whisk that together with a fork. I just have a little pastry brush. You just want to gently coat the top part of the biscotti, the thin layer of the egg. What this does, it gives it a nice golden glaze. After you put the egg glaze on, you want to have just some simple sugar and sprinkle about maybe a teaspoon on each of the logs evenly. And then this is going to also give you a nice crust.
Once that sugar layer is complete, if you have any excess on your silicone liner, just kind of dust that off. You can tidy that up a little bit. We'll pop it into the oven at 375. It bakes for 25 minutes until it turns golden and starts to crack on top.
So once your biscotti is finished baking, make sure it cools for about 20 to 30 minutes. And now it's time to cut and do the second bake.
So you'll notice how golden it is now. The log is got a little crunch on top, tacky crack underneath there. And I'm cutting it just on the diagonal. So we end up with these traditional looking slices of biscotti. So you go on a slight diagonal. You can make them as thick as you like. I find about a 1/2 inch is plenty.
And you can even do this a day ahead. You want to bake off the biscotti log and then wrap it up and cut it the next day. It's perfectly fine.
All right, the end pieces are for your pleasure. And we're just going to pop these on a wire rack. So put the wire rack on the cookie sheet, spread these out. And when we pop them in the oven, they go in at 300 degrees, low oven. You can let them dry out for about 15 minutes. Some people like to leave them for 30 minutes to get that really crunchy texture. For us, I thought 15 was fine.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, we're going to pop this into the oven and we'll meet you back to decorate and taste these.
And here they are, all decorated, ready to devour.
I'm going to go for this one.
Look how sweet.
Yeah, so we kicked it up a notch by dipping them in white chocolate, some red candy melt, and semi-sweet. So just take whatever kind of chocolate you have. In this case, it's red and white. And pop it in the microwave 30 seconds at a time. Stir it until you get it nice and melted. And we just dip them in that and let them dry for about 10 minutes.
I can't stop enjoying it. The dehydrated strawberries, that's the other secret thing. We crushed these up and made little sprinkles. And these are just addictive on their own too.
You can also just put regular sprinkles. You can put some chopped up hazelnuts if you have some left over. Yeah, just do whatever you have around.
So happy dunking. This has been Baking with J plus Dan. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.
And always remember to
ring that bell.